welcome to another episode on the channel. I am so happy that you're coming by to hang out with me for a little while. So today I wanted to kind of talk about ways that I save money as a wife. I know this is like such a random topic, but it's something that I feel kind of strongly about. So my personality, and I think Daniel, you as well, would you consider yourself a spender?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I am definitely a spender. Like that is my natural tendency. And right now it is so random, but we're on our way to my mom's house after church on a Sunday to eat. And I'm like, I just want to talk about this because I would look for tips on this specific subject when I was first got married and stuff like that. So married that I couldn't go out and spend a lot of money because we didn't have extra money like we used to. Now we have a mortgage. Now we have combined 2 car payments. Now we have debt that we're trying to little by little get rid of. So it's not as easy to just say I'm gonna go out and spend $150 buying clothes today. That sometimes isn't feasible. Sometimes you have to say, well, I have to budget for that if I want to go and buy those things. So I just wanted to talk about today about a few tips or tricks on how to save money, especially for those of you who might be newlyweds or are saving for a wedding or are saving for something else. What are some ways that we can save money? Some of my tips. My first one is definitely going to be where you are shopping for things. I never in my entire life thrifted. I thought that it wouldn't be as a nice experience as it actually turned out to be. I began thrifting about a year or 2 ago. I don't do it super often just because the thrift stores in my local area I don't have very much luck with, but I actually went about an hour outside of the city that I live in and found an amazing thrift store that was recommended to me. And I found pants, I found shirts and things that, yes, they're an older style, but I was able to combine with newer pieces and they look amazing. So I have blazers, which became a really big fashion trend, trousers. So I was able to find those at a ridiculously affordable price. So today we had just a day with the family and it was fun, and every time that you go out it almost feels like you have to spend money, right? Especially with the way things are nowadays. There is gas money that you have to spend, which is not cheap, and there's also entrance fees to get into different places. So today we literally had the simplest day with our family. We hung out at my mom's house. She cooked dinner, and then we went to go see my sisters. They're getting a house built. They just bought a house, her and her fiance, and they're gonna be building it over the next couple of months. So we all just went out and we hung out there, looked at the lot, got to look at the neighborhood, and it was the chillest thing. They have a park area, and we all just kind of hung out by the sets. We had fun. We watched my nephew, my niece, and especially my nephew running around and having fun. And it was the chillest afternoon. Then we went and we got ice cream and burgers, and then we came home. So not a bunch of, or now we're on our way home, but not a lot of money spent. So basically my next tip is you can have fun and you can do fun activities without spending much money at all, especially if you're on a tight budget. Going to places like theme parks or museums, or just entrance fees to get into places, spending money on gas can be quite difficult. So if you live in a city that has a nice downtown area, and listen, most downtown areas are super nice to go to. So in our city, we are able to go to our downtown area, which gets lit very pretty at night. And like I said, our town is very small. The downtown area has maybe 4 or 5 restaurants to choose from, ranging from really fancy restaurants to some that are maybe a grill. They're really chill. So there's a variety of restaurants that we can choose from, but if we're on a budget, sometimes we'll just walk around downtown and get smoothies, something really simple. We don't want to go eat in a restaurant, have to pay for you're kind of paying for the experience, for the overpriced food, and then you're also paying, you know, for the waiter. You have to give a tip, so it can get really pricey. So we just walk around downtown, get some smoothies, we sit by the fountain, we talk, sometimes we take pictures and make memories, just do really simple stuff like that. And I think kind of, I don't know, sometimes we have such a hard time, in my opinion, with just being grateful with what we have or whatever, and we just don't go and like walk around our city and have fun doing simple things. We want to do kind of extravagant things that are like Instagram worthy, but sometimes things as simple as going on like a little date with my husband, walking around downtown, can really make me feel like I got out of the house, I got to, you know, put on some real clothes and just be out and about. Another way that I try to save money is in home decor. So prioritizing what is important to you can really help in trying to figure out ways to pinch those pennies and put money towards what's most important to you. So like, for example, in this season of our life, Daniel and I are trying to get rid of some debt, medical debt. We're also trying to get rid of other debt that we acquired, but we also love road trips. We love to travel. We love to be able to just spontaneously take off on a random Friday and be able to go eat at a restaurant or do fun things like that. Go on a trip. Like, we like those things. We feel like we need a couple of those a year. They mean a lot to us, and we always hope that we're able to do those things. But those things are really expensive and take a lot of money. So home decor is really a spot where I want to save as much money as possible. Do I go out and buy and splurge on a couple things here and there? Yeah, but I also like to be able to save money in this area. So one of the best ways that I save money in this area is DIYing home decor. And this might mean going to like a thrift shop or my local Salvation Army, and they usually have some really nice things that I can either DIY by painting, or I can spruce up with maybe some newer items and put them all together. And then Hi. Okay, all right, hold on. All right, guest appearance from Zeus. All right, so one of the things that I do is not only go to thrift stores, but also like if I have a family member that's getting rid of some chairs or a shelf, I'm like, nope, let me see it first, because I might be able to do something with it. So I have tons of things in my house that are repurposed. So this table was in Daniel's mom's garage. It literally was just sitting there, and it used to be like a dark brown color, and yeah, dark brown. And then I painted it white after we had it for almost 2 years in this house. I went ahead and painted it white, which I always wanted to do. I just used like chalk-like paint, or you can use chalk paint. Chalk paint works really good. I have had my share of using chalk paint. Even the cheapest of chalk paints that I could find in Walmart, they all work usually pretty darn well in my experience. I also DIYed this vase. I wanted a vase with texture. All right, this last tip is definitely one that I have a hard time with, and I'm gonna be super honest about that. And that is cooking your own food at home. I am not great at this. I love to eat out, and that's something that I have to push myself to do all the time. It is to cook our own meals. And not only that, sometimes buying healthier food and healthier things that you can cook at home from scratch tend to be just as sometimes more expensive than eating out. But when I went through our budget, because I feel like especially in the last year or two, with everything that has happened in our lives and with the pandemic and all just a lot of things going on, I have been really looking closely at our budget and making sure that we're paying off debt, but we're saving money for, like an emergency fund and things like that, but that we're also saving for the future and just budgeting a little bit better. And when I realized and I looked at how much money we spend eating out, you don't really realize it. Spending a little bit here, a little bit there, you don't realize that you're spending hundreds of dollars a month eating out. So that's definitely an area where you can maybe try shaving off some money. Does this mean you will never do your Starbucks run or have to catch, go get your favorite sandwich or something like that? No, you can totally do those things, but maybe budget for them. That's something that I feel like has helped me anyways. So I've decided to start buying more food in bulk, like buying more rice, buying dry beans. We do eat quite a bit of beans. Well, I wouldn't say like a whole lot, but I do like making chili. I do like making like Puerto Rican style beans, things like that. And so buying dry beans, buying rice, things like that in bulk especially. And if you buy dry beans, like I mentioned, you can get them way cheaper than getting things canned or getting like instant rice or things like that. Things that are actually can end up being less healthy for you because they're just full of sodium. So cooking your own meals, it is a challenge, especially when we're really busy, but I have some free printables that I didn't create, but that I have found on Etsy or have found on the internet that have been super helpful for me, and I use those to meal prep sometimes. Do I do this perfectly? No, especially because it's just me and my husband Daniel here at home. So doing like big meal preps and big meal plans just seems like too much for 2 people, but I do try to think ahead, think about what I can cook today, think about what's in my fridge, just be more mindful of the food that's in my pantry, because I realize that when I just have a mess in my pantry or have a mess in the fridge, I'm just like, let's just order out today. I don't even want to try to sort through all the food that I have and figure out what's good, what needs to be thrown away. But if I just do that ahead of time, I feel like it helps me be more organized and meal prep. But let me show you one of my favorite tips that has really worked to help me meal prep, be better about buying groceries and sticking to the budget for groceries and sticking to the budget for meal preps. Get ready, it's gonna be mind-blowing. It's gonna be so mind-blowing. I'm kidding, it is not that mind-blowing. So Daniel and I are really bad sometimes about doing groceries. So I was like, unless it's out here in the open and I'm actually looking at it and able to update it as we run out of things, I am not going to be able to do it. I'm just gonna give up on it. So we decided to put this, you're gonna see is like things that in real time we need to buy right now. And before some of you ask, paños, the Spanish for like a rag, like a cleaning rag. But I just put this whiteboard up with a marker, and as we run out of things, we write them there. But I cannot begin to tell you how much of a time saver, and I don't know, it's just like really good at organizing Daniel and I, so that I don't keep forgetting to buy things because I forgot that we ran out of milk, or I forgot that we ran out of eggs, or I forgot that we need cleaning supplies. Literally, as we run out of anything, whether it's dish soap or even things like deodorant and stuff like that, food stuff, we will put it in that list and then take a picture of it and go to the grocery store with it, or then transfer what's on that list onto our phones on a list, and we will go ahead and take that to the grocery store and be able to click off of that list as we grab the items that we need. So doing that has been huge in helping us to be more organized about doing groceries, sticking to meal preps, and sticking to a budget. So I know that this was like a super simple video, but I still wanted to make it, and I thought it could be a little bit helpful for some of you, recommending some of the items that I've been able to purchase, or little things that I've been able to do, little tips and tricks that I can share with you of things that have helped me to save money, especially when I first got married and moved into a house, and just a huge shift in my life, and we needed to be more careful about our budget, and we had a mortgage and 2 car payments and just a bunch of different things that now we had to really stay on top of. And as a newly married couple, we had to communicate so much more about money, and especially in the beginning, I don't think that we communicated as much as we could have. So we had to learn to do that, and so these little tips and tricks I think were really helpful for me, especially for someone who liked to splurge on many things, having to learn that, okay, now I have to save for the future, and I have to think and tell my money where to go. So I think these tips and tricks were ways that I was able to shave off on some of my expenses and save money in the long run for emergency fund or to go towards debt and things like that. Now at the end of this video, if you want to go down and check out a link that I'm going to put down below, and it is to Dave Ramsey's website. I really have felt like I have learned so much listening to some of the Dave Ramsey personalities, like Rachel Cruz, who is, I believe, Dave Ramsey's daughter. I might be wrong on that, but I think she is. She has a great show where she talks about money, how to practically do better with your money, and I think it's definitely worth watching. And I have really put into practice some of the things that Dave Ramsey teaches, and I really think they help me manage my money a lot better and be more responsible in terms of thinking about the future. Like, I need to have my emergency fund. Me and my husband need to think about things like that. And then I really want this video to be what I would have liked to have when I was getting ready to be married. I think that sometimes we need like a big sister to tell us, hey, think about some of these things, and especially with just the way of the world is. So I hope that these tips were a little bit helpful for you. And yeah, check out some of the links down below to some of my favorite products that I think have helped me to do more things at home, be a little bit more conscious about being more of a DIYer. I think DIYing is one of the best ways to save money, and hopefully these tips were helpful. See you in the next one. Bye.
It's really realistic.
It wags its tail and lets you know it's happy.